Hello students and welcome to IP Study lecture video. In this video, we are going to cover the 6th chapter of grade 6 mathematics, and the name of the chapter is Mensuration, in which we will see perimeter and area. Students, first of all, let us see what are the different topics we are going to cover under this chapter. So we will see what is the meaning of perimeter and how to find in irregular figures or regular figures, and then we'll see what is the meaning of area and how to find the area of a figure using squared paper, it can be a mango or anything, any figure. Yes, and later on we'll see how to find the area of triangle using squared paper. Yes, so let's start with the first topic, perimeter. So perimeter is the total length of the boundary of the figure. It is calculated by adding all the sides of the figure. So here we have some figures given where they want us to look at the park 1 to 5. If wall is built around 1, 3, 4, 5, the boundaries will be closed. Yes, so if we take 1, 3 or 4 or 5, the boundary will be closed. This length of the wall is called perimeter. So the length that will take will be the perimeter of the figure. However, in field 2, that is this figure, this is an open figure, the boundary is not closed. The length of the wall in such cases are not called perimeter. So to have perimeter concept into a figure, it must be a closed shape. Thus, the perimeter of a closed figure is the length of the boundary of the figure that we have already understood. Yes. Perimeter of irregular shape. Irregular shape means when the sides are not of equal length. Okay, so here we have a figure. The perimeter of the given irregular shape can be found by adding the length of all the line segments. So in order to find the perimeter of an irregular shape, we need to add all the sides of the figure. So here, in order to find out the perimeter of this figure, we need to add TS, the length of SR, the length of QR, the length of PQ and the length of PT, which you can see over here, and the total value will be the value of the perimeter. Now, perimeter of rectangle. What is a rectangle? So rectangle is a shape, a 2D shape in which there is a length and breadth, and the lengths are equal, the opposite sides are equal, and the breadth, that is these two opposite sides, are also equal to each other, and there is a right angle at every corner of it. Yes, so student, in order to find out the perimeter of rectangle, we need to add these four sides. So if we take the length as L, so if I move from this boundary starting from A to B, then B to C, then C to D, then D to A, then L plus B plus L plus B will give us 2L plus 2B, and if I will take 2 as a common, then the perimeter of the rectangle will be 2 times the sum of length and breadth. So this is the formula that we have, and we can use it to find out the perimeter of rectangle. Now, if we are given with the perimeter of the rectangle and one of the side is given, then other side can also be found out by using the formula that is equated here. So length will be found out by dividing the perimeter by 2 first and then subtracting the breadth from the result. Yes, similarly, to find out the breadth, we divide the perimeter by 2 first and then subtract length from the value that we have got by dividing. Yes, next is perimeter of a square. So when the sides, all the side of a rectangle becomes equal, then the rectangle is called a square. So here also each corner or each angle of the square is 90 degree, but here all the sides are equal. So in that case, to find out the perimeter, we just need to add all the sides of the square. So there are 4 sides, so the perimeter will be 4A, 4 times A. Okay, now if we are given with the perimeter of a square, then we can find out the side by dividing the perimeter by 4. Student, there is an activity which is given to verify the perimeter of rectangle. So you can go through it and check if you are able to understand it or not. Now student, there is a remember point which says the perimeter of these are the point that we have already covered. The perimeter of any closed figure is the length of boundary of the figure. Perimeter of rectangle is 2 times the length, the sum of length and breadth. Perimeter of square is 4 times the side of the square. Yes, now let's take one example, example 3. The perimeter of a rectangular field is 96 and length is 26 meter, find its breadth. So we have already understood, in order to find out the breadth, what we have to do is we have to divide the perimeter, which is 96 by 2. Then we have to subtract the length from the value. So it will be 48 minus 26, which will give us 22. Next, perimeter of regular closed figure. So a figure is called regular if all the sides are equal, like square, okay, and also the angles should also be equal, because in quadrilateral rhombus has also all side equal, but they don't have all the angles equal. So in case of quadrilateral it is square, in case of triangle it is equilateral triangle. So when all the sides and all the angles are of equal measures, then the polygon is called a regular polygon. So, or a regular figure. Polygon is any closed shape. So either I will say a polygon or a closed figure, it is same, but it is made of line segment, then only we can call it a polygon. Okay. Now, perimeter of an equilateral triangle. So we have to add all the sides, that is BC, AC and AB of this triangle, and here all the sides are also equal. So we can have A plus A plus A is equals to 3A. So it means we have to multiply the given side of the equilateral triangle by 3 to get the perimeter of the equilateral triangle. For regular pentagon, it will be 5 times this side of the pentagon. For regular hexagon, this is the 6 times of the side that is given for the regular hexagon, and for heptagon it is 7 times the side of the regular heptagon. So depending upon the number of sides the polygon having or the closed figure having, we have to multiply that number of value with the value of the side that is given for the regular polygon, okay, or the closed or regular closed figure. Now moving to the next, there is example 8. Find the perimeter of an equilateral triangle with side length 8 cm. So equilateral triangle and the side length is 8. So we have to multiply 8 by 3. So it will be 24 cm. Similarly, the perimeter of regular hexagon will be find it out by multiplying 6 with 6, because the side is also 6. So 36 cm. Now student, you can go through this exercise and just apply the knowledge that you have understood. Now the next topic is area. Student, what is an area and what is the difference between perimeter and area? So let's suppose I draw a figure like this. Now the boundary, the length of the boundary is the perimeter, and the portion that it occupies on the plane is called its area. Plane can be any place where we can draw or have something like that. It can be a paper, or it can be a cardboard, or it can be, for example, here I have a screen. So this is also my plane where I have drawn a circle, and the region that it occupies is called the area of the figure. Now student, there is a method called squared paper method to find out the area of any figure. And what is a square paper? So square paper looks like this, where it is made up of small squares of 1 centimeter of each. The side of the square is 1 centimeter. Now, if you look at one small square, it is made up of further more smaller squares of 1 millimeter side. Now, we can see that each such square of side 1 centimeter is further divided into smaller squares. The side of each such a smaller square is 1 millimeter. 1 centimeter is equals to 10 millimeter. So the side of 1 centimeter is divided into 10 equal parts, and it forms 100 smaller squares of 1 millimeter sides. Yes, you can easily observe that each square of area 1 centimeter square contain 10 into 10, that is 100 smaller squares, each of area 1 millimeter square. Thus we have relation 1 centimeter square is equals to 100 millimeter square. So this is the concept that you have to know before going further. Now, how to find the area of a figure using squared paper? So what we do is, on a square paper, we place a figure and we see how much or how many square does it occupying, and we count them and we just make the total of all the square that has been consumed or taken over by the figure, and we get the area of the figure. Now there are rules to calculate the area of a figure, because sometimes the figure can be outside the square or having some portion of the square, or maybe a larger portion of the square but not the complete square. Then how to calculate the area in that case? So in that case, we calculate approximate area by having these 4 rules. Take the area of one full square as 1 square unit. Students, if any figure covers a full square like this, then we take it as a 1 centimeter square of area or 1 square unit of area. Take the area of more than half covered square as 1. If figure is containing a square which is covered more than half but not full, then it will be considered as a 1 full square. Now, take the area of exactly half covered as half square unit. If a figure is covering a square which is exactly half of a small square, of a smaller square, that is 1 centimeter a side square, then we consider it as a half square unit of area. If the figure contains area with less than half of the square, like let's suppose if we have a figure which is given here, and here it is covering a portion of the square but not half or more than half, then this area can be neglected. Now, so students, let's take one example. Find the area of figure 6.18 using a squared paper. So here, if we put this figure in a square paper like this, we can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 complete square, and if we take this one, this is covering more than half square, so 4 complete square and 1 more than half square, and 8 less than, there are smaller squares that is covered by this figure but will not consider them. So the total area will be 4 plus 1 as 5 centimeter square. Students, now area of rectangle in square. So area of rectangle is given by length times breadth, and area of square is given by side times side, because the length and breadth are same for square. Now, if we are given with area and one of the side, we can find out the other side like stated here. Yes? Now, similarly, if we are given with the area, then we can find side of the square using the square that we have. Like let's suppose if we have 9 centimeter square of area, then the side will be 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, so 3 centimeter will be the side of the square. Student, now next is area of triangle using squared paper. Now, we know that how to use the squared paper to find out the area of a figure. Now, this can be applied to area of triangle or area of rectangle also. Now, here we have to find the area of a triangle using squared paper. Follow the same process, count the full square inside the triangle. The same method is same, you have to count the squares, and the squares which cover the complete square is taken as 1, which covers more than the half of the square is also taken as 1, and the square which is covered as half of the square, so it is taken as half, and if it is less than half, then it is ignored. Now, some of the values of this, the values that we are taking as a full or half will give us the approximate area of the triangle. Now student, let's see example 14. Find the area of the given triangle. Here we can see this triangle is occupying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 full squares and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 half squares. So the area will be 10 plus half of 5, which will be 12.5 centimeter square. Now you can also find out the area of this triangle given over here. Now the next topic is area of triangles found by diagonal of a rectangle. So in a rectangle, the diagonal divides it into two equal area triangle. So if we have a rectangle and there is a diagonal over here, like suppose like this is a rectangle, and if we draw a diagonal like this, there are two diagonals. So it will be divided into two equal areas. Now, when you draw a diagonal in a rectangle, it divides the rectangle into two triangles. The area of each triangle is half the area of rectangle. Because the diagonal split into two equal parts, here is the base of each triangle is the length of the rectangle and the height is the breadth or width of the rectangle. The area of each triangle can be calculated as the half area of rectangle. So let's suppose this is a rectangle, that is PQRS. Now if we want to find out the area of triangle PQS or PQR, or if we take SQR, so this can be calculated by the formula of half times length times breadth. Now in this figure we are given with triangle PQS, but we can find out any area because the area will be same for this triangle or this triangle or this triangle, because the length and breadth are same for all of these. Now here we have to find the area of PQR, but we are given with PQS. So we know that the area of PQS will be equals to an area of angle PQR, because the diagonal will be dividing the rectangle into four equal triangle area. Yes. So here you can observe that PQR is a rectangle and SQ is a diagonal, which means area of PQR will be half of the area of PQRS. Like here, if we have SQ, the area of this will be same as the area made by this diagonal. So area of triangle PQR is equals to half times 5 times 4, that is length and breadth, which will be 10 centimeter. So students, this is all from this chapter. I hope you have understood the chapter clearly. So we'll meet in the next video. Till then, keep practicing, keep learning.